Today I'm trying something toasted, so I thought I'd wear this toasty hat. Happy Thursday everyone, and welcome to Thungry Thirstday, Beer of the Week. And today I'm trying Blue Point Toasted Lager. I'm not entirely sure what toasted lager is, but that is what I'm here to find out. So as you guys know, Thungry Thursday Beer of the Week works this way. I try 3 beers out of this 6-pack right here. The first beer is my initial impressions of the drink. The second beer is a full-on chugger. I will let you guys know how fast this stuff goes down on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being not chuggable and 5 being extremely chuggable. And finally, I'll finish it off with the third one here being the Reflections beer. Let's get started. It's twisty, but it's not a twist off. Don't worry. Bottle opener right here. Here we go. The cap has been popped. No steam coming off these bad boys. I'll put the box right there so you can see it. It's an interesting smell. It's a good smell, but it's different. That's tasty. Blue Point Brewing Company was established in Long Island. So, according to the bottle, this is the finest lager on land or sea. An amber tide of rich flavors brewed with our own unique blend of 6 malts. 6, not 5, not 7, but 6. This beer will remain brewery fresh 180 days after the bottle date. This was bottled on the 28th of January 2017. Wait a second, I gotta do some math here real quick. So 30 days has September, April, June, and November, all the rest of 31. I think this is very, very close to the date at which it's expired. Let me double check this. Let me double check my math here. So, January, let's just say February. So 28 and 31 is 59, 69, 79, 89, 99, 120, 150, 160, 70, 80, 95. So currently this beer is 18 days, 19 days out of being bottled fresh as the time of this filming, but still tastes pretty darn good. I don't know why I just put my phone down again, because I wanted to show you guys the clearness of this beverage, the clearness of the drink. I don't know how good this one's going to show up. They do have a 3/4 label on the bottle. It is a pretty clear beer. It is on the darker side of the clear spectrum, but nonetheless, it is a pretty clear beer. And for those of you guys that can't see the box back there, this is what it looks like. It's the same on the front and the back. Both sides share the same. And something that I've been picking up on lately is they put stuff on the bottom of the box, which is something that I've never known the entire time that I've drinking beer. So it says on the bottom, the finest lager, land and sea. Or the finest lager on land and sea. Blue Point Brewing Company has been brewing award-winning ales and lagers in our hometown on Long Island and South Shore since 1998. Stop by our brewery and tasting room located at 161 River Avenue in Patchogue, New York. You can try toasted lager or any of the great beers we brew. I'm just gonna show you guys this. I don't know if it's just me, but that is very, very hard to read with the blue font and the blue design, the blue picture in the background. Very difficult to read, but a very tasty beer nonetheless. So Long Island is not too far away from me. It's give or take a three-hour drive, so I guess I could kind of classify this as a semi-local beer. So according to the stamp on the side here, if you are in Connecticut, Hawaii, Iowa, Maine, Mass, New York, Oregon, Vermont, you get 5 cents. Missouri, you get 10 cents. And California, you get a CRV, which I don't know what that is. I think that's a type of car. Or you get in Oklahoma, In Oklahoma, you get a plus. So kids, if you bring this into school, you'll get a plus. So instead of an A, you'll get an A plus. I'm just kidding, kids. Don't drink. Don't bring this to school. I think the hat's frying my brain. It's a little toasty in here. Mind you, it is summer. It is, according to the watch, 81 degrees right now. So I did have to blast the air conditioner for a bit before I decided to do this bit. Okay, here we go. Finishing off the first one. Other impressions. It's got a nice bitterness to it. It's not too bitter. I do really like this logo here. The lighthouse kind of slightly listing to the side. I do like their design on the box right here where it's like a overhead map, like a, not like a schematic, more so like a blueprint of a town. I forget what exactly they call those maps. If you guys know what they're called, leave it in the comment section. They do have a cool bottle cap design as well. It's their lighthouse. I actually have a little collection of bottle caps going. I'm planning on doing something interesting with it. So I'll fill you guys in on that on a later date, but I think I will be adding a couple of these to that collection. Finishing it off, we'll give it a little swirl to make sure nothing got mixed up on the bottom, nothing got abandoned on the bottom. It is a little bit foamy from what I can see, so that might play into the chugging of the second beer. So let's see. The other location, besides from Patchogue, or Patchogue, New York, is Baldwinville. I'm guessing that's where the Baldwin family is from, but I could be mistaken. This is 12 fluid ounces with 5.5% alcohol by volume. It's got the classic government warning. According to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcoholic beverages during pregnancy because of the risk of birth defects. Consumption of alcoholic beverages impairs your ability to drive a car or operate machinery and may cause health problems. You know what? After close examination here, I don't believe their logo is a lighthouse. I believe their logo is a buoy. There's a big difference between a lighthouse and a buoy because a lighthouse is typically stationary, not able to move unless, of course, a storm rolls through and knocks the thing over. But a buoy is on a chain. Chain comes disconnected, chain rots away, rusts away, whatever you want to call it. Buoys can become vagabonds. Still a little bit of foam there. It's kind of preventing me from getting that last sip. So let's move on to number 2, which is the chugger. And before I start the chugger, I want to see if I can learn a little bit about this brewery here. So I did pull up on my phone earlier. I'll put this right here, what I'm looking at. The only thing we care about is brewing good beer. Where we're from, the people are a different breed. New Yorkers want more than the status quo. They want you to skip the bullshit and give it to them straight. Yeah, we've got humble beginnings, but that's just who we are. Hell, our founders tapped Blue Point's very first keg in a parking lot. That is interesting. At Blue Point, we brew beer that stands up to New York standards. Stands up to New York standards? I like that. We know it's good. They know it's good. And if someone disagrees, fuck them. That's what it says. It literally says that on the website. I like this guy's write-up. I like this company's write-up. We first and foremost brew beer that we want to drink. If there's some left over, we'll sell it. If I had a brewery, my motto or my about section would be pretty dang close. So as I prepare for the chugger, just one sip of Blue Point beer and you'll find yourself at the boatyard hanging out with friends, brewers, and a few seagulls. That's because after years of tireless brewing but mostly drinking, don't let our brewers tell you otherwise, Blue Point knows it takes a hometown brew to live up to New York standards. Our story all started with toasted lager. That's this one that I'm drinking right here that I've never had before. This is a two-time World Beer Cup medal-winning American Amber Lager. Mouthful. But today, Toasted Lager leads our innovative lineup proudly. Brewed with unique ingredients like local oysters. There's oysters in here? North Atlantic seaweed and beach plums. I I think beach plums are these things right here, but I could be mistaken. But shouldn't there be something on here if it's made with oysters that says people allergic to shellfish should not drink this? But no. And this, I thought this right here was Long Island Sound, but it is not. It actually is, according to this, Patchogue Lake. The Lake of Patchogue. So, here we go. So, after you get past the local oysters, North Atlantic seaweed, and beach plums, the brewers never stop innovating. The one thing that has stayed true since 1998. Blue Point is pretty damn proud to brew beer in a boatyard for the people and place that inspires us every day. Oh, there's an oyster story on here too. An oyster story. I want to read that, but I'm going to drink the chugger first. Here we go. Almost gone. I'm over the halfway point right now. Excuse me. One little sip left. That was surprisingly refreshing. Though the entire time that I kept drinking it, I couldn't help but find myself trying to find the taste of oyster in there. I like oysters, don't get me wrong. I like a raw bar, but every time I was sipping it, I'm trying to taste the oysters. Anyway, on a scale of 1 to 5, how chuggable is this beer? 1 being not chuggable, 5 being you can put this down like water. I would say this is definitely a 4. This easily makes it a 4, maybe even 4.5. I did find that same recurring thing with a couple of other beers where if you seem to drink it too fast, your tongue almost freezes over more or so, but very good. And compared to how foamy the first bottle was, I am actually surprised that that went down as easy as it did. But moving on to the third one here, the final one, the Reflections bottle, the Reflections beer. So, Reflections. I like the bottle. I like the logo now that I can see that it's not a lighthouse and that it is, in fact, a buoy. And actually, you know what? We're gonna, instead of reading something, we're gonna look up something. We're gonna put the longitude and latitude in here of this buoy and see. So it's 40.77 minus 73.02. And that should give us negative 32.25. No, I'm looking for a map. That can't be right, because I got Cedar Grove Cemetery. But it must be right. It has to be, because that lake is right there. The Great Patchogue Lake. Great Patchogue Lake is right there. Interesting. What other things do I have to reflect on about this beer? Like I said before though, the bottom makes it difficult to read with the schematic of the town, with the blueprint of the town overlaid behind it. I wish they put their description of their company on the bottle. They have everything else on here except for what Blue Point is about. And that is good beer, oysters, and fun. I'm kind of guessing that if they did put the fact that there were oysters included in the brewing process, that some people might find that hard to stomach or hard to make a purchase of this beer. Other reflections that I have, I kind of wish the handle was the same black and blue-ish, whitish color that the outline of the town is, but I do like the design. It is cool, the buoy. The buoy floating there in the tides, or, well, it's a lake, so I don't know if that lake experienced tides. I don't know if it's connected to an ocean or not. An amber tide of rich flavors, brewed with our own unique blend of 6 malts. Can't help but think of those 6 malts. What are those 6 malts they put in here? If you know what the 6 malts are, let me know. This is good. I like this. So, now it's time for some numbers. This, right here, was $10.35 for a 6-pack, which is a lot more affordable than last week's beer of the week. It is a affordably priced craft beer that is somewhat local to me, within a good 200-ish miles or so. Hey Siri, how far away to Long Island?
Great Island is about 64 miles away as the crow flies.
That can't be right. Great Island? Well, that is near Old Lyme, Connecticut. But let's try that again. Siri, how far away to Long Island?
It looks like Great Island is about 64 miles away as the crow flies.
Okay, so according to Siri, Long Island is Great Island, and it's 64 miles away from me. So yes, that definitely puts it in the local beer category. So, now time for the real numbers. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely am I to pick up this beer again based on everything that I've told you up to this point in time? And 1 would be not likely, 10 would be this is an every time beer. Every time I want beer, I would go and get this. This, 7? 7, I like it. I like the logo, I like everything, to me, everything's right about this logo. I think it's great. The only problem I have was with the writing on the bottom being the same color as the background. But yeah, that's my rating. And on a scale of 1 to 5, how likely am I to recommend this to a friend based on price? 5 is very likely. 1 is not likely at all based on price, taste, smell, because it does smell good. It smells different. I'm going to give these guys a 4. They make a very, very nice beer. I like Blue Point Brewing Company. I like the fact that there's longitude and latitude, latitudinal coordinates located on the box. Got a couple more sips of this puppy to finish up. That is going to do it for today's episode. Overall, Blue Point Lager is a very, very tasted lager. Very, very tasty lager. I don't know what toasted means. I didn't really get anything descriptive about the toastedness or the toastiness of it, so I can probably just remove this hat right now. There's no point being toasty if they don't tell you why it's toasty, but nonetheless, very good beer. Would highly recommend it. Very well priced. That is going to do it for today's episode. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow for Free For All Friday. Peace.